Why is it that you go into the gym, you see the same people over the years, and they're lifting the same weight month to month on average? They might go up 5 pounds here, a couple pounds there, but it's pretty much the same weight, and they're hitting the same reps, the same exercises. It's like, what are you doing? A lot of people get stuck in the trap of staying a beginner lifter or a beginner intermediate lifter, where they'll be doing the same weight for months on months on months. Like I said, they're not progressively overloading. They're not doing all the right things to be able to progress. Maybe they don't have the desire to grow. But then if you think about it, why are you in the gym if you don't want to grow? That's the whole point. Yeah, you go for health and whatnot, but you want to get big. That's why you're lifting. The number one thing I would say that's stalling people's progress from making more muscle is tracking your lifts. If you do not track your lifts, you'll kind of go in there, you'll remember this session, what you had. Maybe the next session you'll go up a couple pounds, and the next session you'll regress, and then you'll just kind of hover around the same weight. When you track your lifts, you can see it on a list, you can see it on the paper, wherever you're tracking, on your notes, on your phone, whatever it may be. You can see what you did on each date. You know, you write it down when this workout was, and then say if you go back on that note and 2 months later you see you're hitting the same weight, it makes you really think about it. Like, man, what the fuck am I doing here in the gym? I got to step my game up, man. If you see it on paper, it helps you keep accountability. A lot of people, they don't have accountability because they have it all up in the wind. It's all in their head. They remember all their weight. They remember what they were doing last month. They remember all this little stuff, right? No, you don't. You might have a vague idea, but you're not really seeing it right in front of you. You're not keeping the accountability. It just shows you don't really care, and you're being a lazy lifter. When you're first starting out in the gym, like your first few months, you know, you're all right. You're just trying to figure out the form and whatnot. You know, it's okay. You don't have to be so, you don't have to really do it at the way beginning. But as you progress and get a little better, a little stronger, getting your form down, you're learning exercises, you're learning how to lift really, then it becomes more important. You have to track your lifts. It guarantees progression. You know where you're at. You can set goals for the next session based off of your history of your lifts that you are logging. Now, the second thing is intensity. Now, if you're in the gym and you're not pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can, if your first rep looks like your last rep, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if your excuse is you're keeping reps in reserve and whatnot, that's bullshit, because 10 reps later, 8 reps later, you're not going to look exactly the same. Even 6 reps in, your form should be good still, but you're slowing down. There's more exertion going through to be able to get that weight up. It's way more challenging. If you're using a weight where the first rep, last rep looks the same, you're bullshitting yourself, you're cutting yourself short, you're not going to see the gains that you're really looking for. Now, if you're on roids and you're just blasting gear, yeah, maybe you can just pump the weight and expect some gains, but that's not really what's going to happen for us natural lifters. You need intensity. You need to go all out. I go to failure every single set. That's just how I've been doing it for years, and I've been seeing good progress from it. Thirdly, we have, this goes hand in hand, but progressive overload. It goes hand in hand with the first two things I just said. You have to make sure you're going up in weight. The tracking will help you with that. And if you're staying in the same area, you're not really going to grow. You need to progress through repetition or weight. Now you can kind of milk it by adding extra reps to it, but if you go up in the rep range of, say, maybe you're hitting 12 reps, I don't train that way. It works for some people, but I like to stick in the 6 to 8 rep range. Sometimes I'll hit 10 on certain movements, like some lateral raises, maybe rear delt flies, things like that. I'll maybe go a little higher rep, but I'm still keeping my intensity top notch. I'm giving it my all on every single set. Next, we have sticking to a program. A lot of people, they'll just go and program hop. They see stuff online, and this is trendy right now. Oh, I'm gonna try some Keenan flaps. No, you need to stick to a solid plan. Get your exercise selection, stick to it, have your staples in your routine that you do not switch for months and months and months on end, because your body adapts to the movements that you're doing. You will get more effective at, say, the bench press, for example, or squats, or whatever it may be. You're going to get more effective and efficient at that movement. Your body's going to learn the movement. It's going to help you out and further assist you on making progress. Stick to the program, have the solid basics, and then once you get more advanced, you can maybe swap 1 or 2 exercises out here and there to hit a different head of the muscle or whatnot. But you need to stick to a plan. Don't just switch because you've seen something cool online. switching your split, on a whim. You're like, no, I'm gonna try a different split today. It's like you're not really gonna see the progress you're after because your body has to make adaptations to whatever you are switching to, and it takes, they say, like 2 weeks for your body to really adapt to the movements you're doing. Yeah, you may be able to do it, but it's not going to be as fine tuned as it can be if you're doing that weeks on end, months on end, staying rigid to your regimen. Exercise selection. This is just like what I was saying before. You need to have staples in your routine, your main movers, your compounds, overhead press, pull-ups, rows, squats. You need a squat pattern for legs. I don't care what people say, whether it's a leg press, hack squat, Smith machine squat, it doesn't matter. You need a squat movement, a squat pattern in your leg routine. Back, I like to have a row. I like to have a pull downs or a pull up, anything that's vertical in that way. You need your main movers, that's for sure. You can't just do all isolations because your strength is going to benefit you on your growth. So say isolation curls, for example. Yeah, you're going to make progress, you're going to gain strength, but say you have the isolation curls and you start off with a heavy barbell curl. You're going to gain a lot more strength benefits from that, and then that gives you more strength for your isolation curls. So you're going to be able to gain more muscle from the isolation curls. It goes hand in hand. You need a compound, and then the isolations. I do one compound per muscle, except for legs. I'll do three compound movements, a squat. Then I'll switch to a Bulgarians. I'll do RDLs or deadlifts, and then I'll do all my isolations. But everything else, like shoulders, for example, I'm mainly doing overhead press. Then I'll isolate all the other heads. I'll even do front delt work. A lot of people don't like to do that, and they say they get enough from pressing. But I think if you're really trying to gain muscle, why not? You want muscle everywhere you can get, more so. So don't leave anything on the table. I think if you listen to what I said in this video, you apply it to your training, you stay strict, you follow a nice routine, you track your lifts, proper intensity, good exercise selection. Of course, you're getting your protein and all that, but this is in-gym work that I'm talking about in this video. Stuff you can do in the gym to guarantee progress. So, hope this video helped you. Hope you're able to learn something, and I hope you can apply this to your training and see gains. I'll see you in the next one.